Barcelona's unbeaten streak has reached 12 matches. The team is on the rise, and for the first time in many years, they smashed Real Madrid in El Clasico. All this is the fruit of Xavi's work, and now we'll tell you how the young coach completely changed the team's game in 4 months of work and what he did to achieve this. Let's begin. Let's start, perhaps, with the main reasons why Barcelona not only beat Real Madrid but thrashed them without a chance. And it's not just the final score 4-0. By the way, hit the like button if you enjoyed Barca's game in El Clasico. The first thing you need to pay attention to is the choice of the right back. Most of the positions weren't surprising, but the choice of Uruguayan Araujo as the right defender was thought out specifically for the match against Real Madrid. The fact is that Sergio Dest is injured and Xavi had an obvious option to let Dani Alves out in this position. However, the defender had to confront Vinicius Jr. on that wing, who was very difficult to restrain. Therefore, the coach decided to move the faster and more enduring Araujo to the wing, and Eddie Garcia took the Uruguayan's position in the center of defense. Such a maneuver became possible, among other things, due to the fact that Karim Benzema could not play in the match, which meant that there should have been less danger from a Real Madrid center-forward, whoever he was. And this maneuver paid off. Araujo managed to minimize the threat on his wing. In support of this, Vinicius had his best moment when he moved from the left wing to the right, that is, when the Uruguayan couldn't cover him. We're talking about one-on-one with a 1-0 score in favor of Barcelona. We should also note the quality of Barcelona's pressing. Because of it, Real Madrid couldn't play the ball in their own half of the pitch, and the build-up with the help of long balls didn't work due to the lack of a nominal striker. Blaugrana changed from 4-3-3 to 4-4-2 when pressed, with Pedri moving from midfield to help Aubameyang, and the line of wingers and central midfielders moved, depending on the position of the ball and opponents. If we add a well-coordinated high defensive line to this, then it's not hard to understand why it worked so well. Because Barcelona's pressing was better than Real Madrid's, the Catalans took control of the game into their own hands. Another tactical trick from Xavi that worked was creating situations where Ousmane Dembele was one-on-one with Nacho. Let us remind you that Nacho was forced to be in the left-back position due to Mendy's injury in the first half. Barcelona managed to isolate Dembele and Nacho due to the fact that Araujo rarely joined the attacks and was far from Dembele, and Frenkie de Jong did not move towards the Frenchman to play the ball, staying in his center. Such actions by Araujo and de Jong distracted the opponent and stretched their defense, creating space on the wing. That's how the first goal was scored. Dembele beat Nacho and made an accurate pass to Aubameyang. On the other wing, Barca acted differently. Alba, Pedri, Torres and Aubameyang, who were moving into that zone, created triangles between themselves, in which they constantly changed places. This confused Real Madrid's defense and completely destroyed its structure. In particular, we should also note Busquets. His importance is evidenced by the fact that Real Madrid deliberately changed formation several times to neutralize him, and none of them could prevent Sergio from controlling the game. After the starting segment, when it became clear that Real Madrid's pressing wasn't working, Valverde was sent to cover Busquets personally. He was then substituted by Casemiro, but neither one of them could restrain the Spaniard. Aubameyang is also worth mentioning. The Gabonese was excellent both in a positional play in the first half and counter-attacking in the second. This is confirmed by the goals scored by him, and his assist on Ferran was the cherry on top of an excellent performance. But if you think that Barca were really good only in the match against Real Madrid, then you're wrong. This level of play was the result of Xavi's work for all 4 months at the helm of the team. If we compare Xavi and Ronald Koeman's results this season, then with the Spaniard, Barcelona scores an average of 0.7 goals more, concedes 0.17 fewer and scores 0.76 points more than with the Dutchman. In order for you to understand how significant these numbers are, it's worth saying that this is the difference between a team fighting for the league title and a middle-tier side. When we talk about Xavi, we're talking about Barcelona's DNA, tiki-taka and all that goes with it. However, the Spaniard's main achievement is the defensive game. Since Xavi's appointment, Barca have allowed the fewest chances at their goal in La Liga. Important changes were also made to the training process. Firstly, Xavi's staff made trainings more interactive. Now players are constantly participating in various games that not only improve coordination, endurance and technique but also unite the team. Secondly, Xavi arranges individual sessions with the players every week, showing them videos and explaining how to act in various situations. This was not the case with Koeman. The style of Barcelona was completely lost. Some players don't understand the automatisms that I understood at the age of 11. The problem is that they did not work with them in this direction. Xavi harshly outlined the problems of Barca after his appointment, and he put all his efforts into restoring it. We have already mentioned that successful pressing was the key to victory over Real Madrid. So, Barcelona are by far the leaders of La Liga, both in terms of the intensity of pressing and the success of pressing actions under Xavi. In addition to the fact that the Catalans allowed the fewest chances at their goal and are the best at pressing, they've also become much less vulnerable to opponents' pressing. Seeing this, rivals are already refusing intense pressing and matches are increasingly reminiscent of those that were under Pep Guardiola and Luis Enrique. This was achieved thanks to clear guidelines from Xavi. When building up, each player knows what to do and what zone to occupy. This was not the case under Koeman. He could achieve results while Messi was in the team and strict guidelines were often simply superfluous. But after the Argentinian's departure, it is Xavi's approach that brings results. We should separately note the perfect transfers: Dani Alves, Ferran Torres, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Adama Traore. They all fit into the team and have reinforced it. More precisely, it was Xavi who found the perfect application for each of the players' qualities. It's not even worth talking about Dani Alves and Ferran Torres. These are the perfect players for the club philosophy and the coach. But even Xavi himself had doubts about Aubameyang before, and that's understandable. The Gabonese is great at speed when he has a lot of space, but there were questions about the positional attacks. However, Xavi figured out how to wisely use Aubameyang's strength. He realized that the presence of such an attacker makes the opponent play deeper. After all, if you keep a high defensive line, Aubameyang will punish the opponent in large spaces. The Gabonese is gradually improving his positional game and Xavi devotes a lot of time on working this aspect. Aubameyang knows about pressing firsthand because he played at Jurgen Klopp's Borussia. If you look at Adama Traore, who was not even a starter at Wolverhampton, he's revealed in a new way at Xavi's Barcelona. Given Blaugrana's sharpness on the wings, Traore's ability to beat one-on-one becomes an excellent trump card. And playing on the wing with incredibly experienced Dani Alves hides many of the winger's shortcomings. To sum up, the work that Xavi has done at the moment can only be praised. Barcelona have reached the level where we can once again say that there are two giants in Spain, Real and Barcelona. And everyone else follows them, and it will only get more and more interesting. Tell us in the comments below if Barca will win La Liga next season and if they can win the Europa League this season, finishing the season with a trophy. And with that, we say bye to you. Subscribe to our channel and take care. Bye.